Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Undiagnosed Baddie, my daily 10-minute podcast for all the ADHD girlies out there. Now, today I was telling you, I don't think I've ever formally told y'all how to use my podcast. Every day, you have to do things that have to get done, right? My eye is watering. We'll get into that. But my playlist and my podcast is when you need some sort of structure, right? So we all have tasks that we need to do: journal, pick up things, fold clothes. And the reason why my episodes are 10 minutes because it's like a 10-minute timer to get that task done. So if you put on an episode of Undiagnosed Baddie, you know you have 10 minutes to do whatever you need to do in the kitchen, 10 minutes to do whatever you need to do to get out the door, 10 minutes to do whatever you need to do. So we compile things that we want to do with things that we have to do. We want to listen to Bella on Undiagnosed Baddie, but we have to, hang up clothes. We have to wash the dishes. We have to organize, medications, or boil our tea or steep our tea or whatever it is that you have to do. You are supposed to combine my episode with your task, everyone. Like, it's a twofer, right? So it gives me a chance to discuss any and all things. It gives you a chance to complete tasks and we work together. So sometimes being unmedicated is okay, right? Is it really okay being unmedicated? I was on, I think I said it already, the Pit Stop podcast last week, and they've been dropping little teasers over on Instagram. That's DA Pitt, PITT Stop Podcast. It's on YouTube and on Instagram for sure. I think they're on all platforms. I'm the only one that's condensed here. Simply because it's just me, babe. It's just me. Now, let's get into this watery eye. I have allergies. As I've gotten older, I have developed seasonal allergies to this area. And we all know what that is, right? That's environmental racism and, and sexism. They have taken away all the female trees. And so we are left with all of this sperm of pollen all over the place. And I had to do my lashes. Now, I didn't put strips on. My strips were looking crazy. They're up this way, down this way. They're not really contouring my eyes. My eyes look a little crazy right now because it's watering because I haven't taken my medicine. And then I did my lashes. Zyrtec is like the only thing that works for me, and it works instantly. So now let's talk about Zyrtec just for a second. I just want to let you guys know that just because you're not a member of Kaiser doesn't mean you can't go into their pharmacy and get their off-the-shelf stuff without being a member. With that being said, Kaiser has cheaper allergy meds than everybody else. Now, I don't take Zyrtec. Zyrtec is the brand name. I take, what is it, citracizine or whatever it is. It's the same thing. It's just not the brand name. Zyrtec is going to run you like $30. And for the non-brand, you probably get like 100 pills. Now, with inflation, probably for like $12. It used to be like $8.99, $9.99. But that's still not bad. They're one a day. One works for 24 hours, and they really do. I have had a good week. Shout out to all the bros. Shout out to Brooke and Alex and Devin and Cess for always keeping me sane. It's the same names all the time. I went to go see, what is it called? Not Hide and Seek, but Ready or Not 2. Ready or Not 2 is exactly, it's so crazy that it's coming out right now as the Epstein files were released. And we've always known that whatever the elites do, they put in front of our face because how could people do crazy? How do people think of crazy things like this? And it's always that saying that art imitates life and life imitates art, right? Babe, what came out in the Epstein files of what they're saying, they used to hunt children and they released them into the park, and if you made it to the next day, you got to stay alive and stuff like that. Yeah, it's the same thing. It's the same thing in this movie. And so me and Brooke and Devin went to go, and a conversation came up like what do you rate the movie? 1 out of 10 or this or that? And I couldn't really rate it. I was like, it's a documentary. Like, this is literally a documentary of what was released. It's crazy how you know, a lot of things that people used to think, including myself, I never really got into my conspiracy theories on here. It's thin ice when you're in public facing, because it's like, don't you remember, it could be 10 years from now, don't you remember you said da 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 da, or the red flags that are on the AI that pull from the things that we say. It's a very interesting movie. I don't know if I can rate it 1 to 10. The movies that have been coming out lately, maybe it's just the ones that I've gone to. I saw The Bride of Frankenstein. Long, I think it was 2 hours and 12 minutes long, lots of sexual assault, lots of killing. And in the middle of it, they're doing the monster mash. Okay? I was like, this is odd. And you can tell that this was written by Caucasian men. And where were the women in the room? They weren't in the room for this tale of a monster, because that's essentially what the bride is, a monster. She was killed at the beginning of the movie, brought back to life, right? It's not telling what happened, because that's the tale of the Bride of Frankenstein, right? But what happens throughout the movie is just crazy. And I'm like, yeah, so this is why they don't let like black creatives come into spaces, because we're like, yeah, that's y'all business. We don't have nothing to do with that. That's y'all business. And the Caucasian movie directors and producers and all of the people that have the funding reproduce the same movies over and over, because I don't think their minds have the creativity, have the reach, have the, I don't even want to say the imagination, have the ancestral depths of what was, to be able to create that on screen. I don't think that those men, the men in power, have that. I know that they don't, because of the movies that we keep getting. And especially with Ready or Not 2 dropping. Like, wow. I didn't read the description. So I go into these movies blindly. I think that's I know that's crazy for some people, but you sign up for the screenings, and they'll be like, okay, you got in, are you coming? Okay, we're going. And I don't know what I'm walking into. I like surprises, and I don't know if that's a good thing when it comes to this movie thing, but also I think it's opening up my eyes and allowing me to see more genres than I would normally go see. Like, I'm a comedy person. I am like horror to a certain extent, because I'm so much more spiritual now that I know some horror movies are just not good. But I love comedies. I love dramas. It doesn't have to necessarily be love. But in all of these movies that people make, whether it's Top Gun or whatever movie, there's love. There's a love interest in there somewhere, right? You have to have something for the ladies. But these last 2 movies, The Bride of Frankenstein and Ready or Not 2, were definitely very physically and mentally abusive towards the women, whether you think about that or not. Like, a lot of people are not going to take that away unless you sit there and you be like, oh my gosh, this is kind of, is anybody else seeing what the hell's going on here? It's very interesting what they push to the masses. It's very interesting knowing that things that I have believed in the past are coming out in these files. Things that I know that are true. Things that are beyond our realm are true. So if you have any good conspiracy theory podcasts that you all listen to, send them to me. And I need it to be I need diversity. Send them to me so I can be like, oh, haven't heard that one, or I knew it. I fucking knew it. Yeah. Send that to me, y'all, because What is a conspiracy theory?